rising from the pit. Furthest away from you, we have Edward Kemp standing with what would be the brother of Thordic, as it has attained a new form and consumed the bodies of the commoners that surrounded it. Thordic, you were downed during the fight with the other doppelgangers as you sit before it. You see Edward Kemp facing away from you, looking at his new creation. The abomination stands before as it starts to fall from the sky slowly as it levitates down. His feet, barefoot, the sounds of their pads hit the ground and a density is there. The stones give way to his weight. As he drops, the sword drags him to the ground, his eyes shut, and the third eye shuts as well as he looks down. Edward Kemp's hands are up in the air as he brings them slowly down and placing them on who would be your brother in his new form. Edward Kemp, glancing around vivaciously, his eyes darting back and forth, begins to put a hand to it and look over. As he makes a small gesture with his hands, you see that pale ichor that had been vomited from Edward Kemp into the corpse of your brother begins to kind of swell, and his skin from the palms of his hands almost like give way, and it would seem as if it kind of is oozing from him and off. Okay? As Edward Kemp drops his arms down, he'll lumber back and look towards you, Thordic. As he begins to walk closely, the rest of you will witness as Edward Kemp, with his eyes drawn, will place a single hand on your chest. I'll give you an option for reaction.
Yes. As he does this, enraged by seeing the twisted visions of his battle brother, Thordic, he whispers a slight prayer, clutching one of his many, holy relics. I would like to channel divinity. As Thordic, he yells, "Give me strength to strike down this abomination."
And as you do so, the winds in this empty cavern, separate from above, begin to howl. That breath that y'all felt earlier is actually being pulled in and circulating around Thordic's body.
And as as the energy starts to crackle through Thordic, he then will unleash, just like radiant light as he grabs onto the Edward Kemp's hand as he pulls himself up, taking his hammer and swinging at Edward Kemp, and he will have to take a con save of DC 12. And
you said a con save DC 12?
Con save of DC 12. On a failed save, he takes 2d8 plus 2 necrotic or radiant damage, my choice. I would choose radiant, or half as much on a successful save.
He rolls a 10, so that's a fail on his part.
Okay, let me roll my damage. 2d8. Well, that sucks. That's a 4.
Hey, you know what? Nothing ever sucks. He has his hands down and he's walking towards you. He's noticed that his eyes begin to dart, similar to that of the faceless ones. Okay, almost as if he's contemplating, but they move sideways, back and forth. One shoots off this way, there. As the winds begin to move, they both center and look up towards the distance in confusion. As the winds pick up, as you have made your call to the augur, he presses firmly into your chest, and as the weight of his hand comes down, it's not just a gentle press. You feel compression, you feel your sternum give, you hear the snapping as it bends in, and as you bring your hand up with your weapon, as you've channeled the divinity, you'll bring it down, and as you bring it down, he brings his hand up, and you will take off the arm, crushing it and bending it into place as it's been bashed and beaten. You, however, do have a white handprint of that same pale ichor into your chest and into your person. It's burned through the garments and it's into the flesh. Your sternum is broken and you are barely hanging on for life, my friend.
Okay.
And as Edward Kemp falls to the ground, his arm bent and shattered into pieces, the rest of you would witness as Edward Kemp put his arm up, it shatters, and he falls down, and he looks at all of you, his eyes still doing the darting as he panics. He flings his hands into the arm, pulling off the broken piece and throwing it asunder. Slowly, you see the arm rejuvenate. Not immediately, but it takes time as you see the bone osseous begin to form again. It doesn't look like that same silver facade that you saw on the faceless ones. The bone begins to protrude out. You see both pieces of the arm begin to form and the joints compress. You see the muscle and the sinew build up as you see the flesh regain and his hand is there. And as his arms come up, they are fully regenerated as he does another becking call, and you see the third eye of the brother open. And as he looks down, he kneels slowly towards your face, Thordic, as he says, "We will be one." As he brings his sword up, I'll give you a saving throw for dexterity to see if you can roll out of the way.
Oh, that's a 6.
And as he does, you see tears begin to come from his normal eyes. As his face down, that goatee to a point, sword is up. As he flips it down, he says, "Goodbye." The blade comes down through Thordic's chest, and Thordic, you are no more.
Thordic, with his last words, as his brother says goodbye, says, "You are no brother." As he, whispers, "Just finish it," and then, boom.
The sword is in, and as the blade comes in, we hear an outward gasp from the brother. As he pushes the sword further, it breaks through the obsidian-plated floor and begins to push him to the ground. As he does, you see the brother's eyes look up as he looks around the room in confusion. He looks down at the body of Thordic and over towards Edward Kemp, to which Edward again brings his arms up, and we see the brother's chest and arms begin to flail open as it consumes the body of Thordic. Pulling it into his person, we see the body shift and form as another set of arms protrude from the base of his, grasping the handle of the two blades on the ground and pulling it up, holding the great sword now with just one hand, well, with two arms. And we see the face of Thordic push and form onto the other side of the brother. And similar to the brother's face, a third eye has appeared on the face of Thordic that is now just opposed to the left. As the brother stands, he meets the rest of the group. After fusing with Thordic and his face juxtaposed to the side, the third-eyed open, the new blade held in the two arms that are now on his right side, he will look towards Mendril, Killian, Scaldier, and Cyrus. As he glances over to Edward Kemp, Edward will then say, "Feed," as he puts his hand out towards the group. This is your opportunity for any reaction that you would wish to take.
Mendril, he's gonna just look towards Edward Kemp and I'm gonna put my hands up in a frantic and grab something on my chest. "Sir Forge Master," and I'm gonna pull off a pendant that's engraved with a dragon, and I'm gonna kind of hold it out towards Edward, and I'm kind of shaking, just seeing my new companion just be obliterated. And I'm gonna use try to use psionic mind towards Edward Kemp, and as I try to connect, my first words are gonna be, I have a final message for you from, he called you a friend," and I'm holding the pendant out to him.
You see the eyes of Edward Kemp as his hands are up as he's just told the individual to feed. You see that same kind of confusion, the eyes darting back and forth. He darts straight to you, and he looks, and without doing psionic mind, he will just speak to you and say, "May I have the pendant?"
And I'm still gonna do sound and hunt. Yes, I picked this up from the gentleman. I believe his name is Corvin, and I kind of glance over at Scaldier. Him and his party left him for dead, but
I
his
don't
one
know,
his,
Jordan.
his
Edward
one
Kemp.
regret
I
was never
don't know
finding
what he's
out your
talking
name.
about.
His one regret
know
was
what
that
he's talking
he
about.
never got to know who you were, and I'm kind of
Edward-
just handing it over.
Edward Kemp will wander towards you. You can see the vessels in his body are just absolutely destroyed. It looks like he's been contained with something right as he takes steps. You can see the flesh leaving from the pads of his feet as he walks up to you, Mendril. And he takes the pendant from your hand. And when he does, you have this sick odor that's coming from his body as if it was a corpse. Just degenerating towards you as he takes it. You see him smile, his teeth rotted and gnarled.
As I watch
back
this,
lines.
can I make a reaction to seeing the horror that is about to unfold?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I see this gross.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, Mendril is about to die. I'm going to cast Spirit Podium. Or Spirit Totem. Sorry, it's not
Yeah.
a podium. Spirit Totem, like right in front of me. yeah. Spirit Totem. And what it does is, you can magically summon a spirit to a point you can see within 60 feet. It lasts for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. The spirit creates an aura in 30-foot radius around the point and can be moved up to 60 feet as a bonus action. The spirit's aura effect depends on this type. So I'm going to pick the bear type. What it does is it gives 8 temporary hit points and advantage to strength checks and saves. So anybody in that 30-foot aura, so anybody in our party in the 30-foot aura will receive that. So,
Awesome. Yeah, fuck you, Thordic.
Checks on saves and
Okay, so the totem is down. So as this conversation is happening, Scaldier, you sit to the side as you've made your mind up on what your next moves will be. You summon a spirit totem to the side, pulling from your reserve of knowledge of nature and what you have seen in your time in the short stint in the role of the druidic ways, serving under your tutelage. You summon the totem in prayer to the nature pieces that can pull in the summonings of a bear, to which a stoicness sets apart everybody's bravado intensifies. Everybody has a method to what their next steps, having an advantage on strength saving checks and saving throws. Thank you. Mendril, Edward Kemp, with his bloated fingers and his yellow darting eyes, as he takes the pendant from you, and he'll look to you and goes, "A friend of the child."
Yes, I couldn't save him. The witch she didn't bring me back in time.
Tutelage from the wind.
I don't know. The party. I'm so confused of what's going on right now. Please.
So he's going to give you one single thing. Your only response will be a yes or no.
Okay.
Would you like to live lusciously?
As long as yes.
He's going to ask you, please show favor. Drop to a knee.
And
better
I
not bow.
reluctantly
bow.
kind of get down to a knee.
At the same time, Edward Kemp will lower his stance. He's a taller fellow.
This guy.
Obviously looks much different. Hands very decrepit. He keeps them in a poised, raised face. As he brings his hands up, you notice they shake. The flesh is off. They ooze that white ichor from the palms. As he will take around your face and he will grasp and he goes, "To be a child again." He will regurgitate that same white ichor into you.
Holy shit, he's
Okay.
a pervert.
Once he is done, if you don't mind, can I have a con saving throw?
You see this, Killian?
Advantage.
Man, kneeled and they got
things
to
Nope,
thrown up
I just
to
want a
his elbow.
flat con
Yeah,
saving throw, no advantage.
Okay. 25, a nat 20.
A nat 20? Oh, homie. As he does so, you know, you feel sick. Your stomach, it's not a natural process. You feel absolutely grotesque and question the decisions you have made.
Fed you like a baby
However-
bird. I've seen that in nature.
However, soon as it happens, you sit to the ground, you fall back to your rump. The room becomes a little dizzy. For everyone else, what you witness, you see as Mendrel's form begins to shift into a grotesque, elongated beast, his arms outstretched, his maw extending and overgrown into something a little bit more akin to a dragon. Your mind, Mendrel, begins to shift and falter as it begins to plaster itself within your own form. You no longer have control over who you are. However, you do feel an unescaping and unquenchable thirst for flesh and a small remnant idea of who you were and those of which you have served with. Enjoy your decisions. For everyone else, Killian and Noah, Galdir, you have witnessed as Edward Kemp is still continuing his process of funneling what he has done into Mendrel. While this is happening, what will you do? The events will still take place. Mendrel will ascend. What are your responses and reactions during this witness?
Cyrus.
Oh, look.
Scalder, we need to get the fuck out of here.
Cyrus
I
is
don't-
standing behind the two of you also. He's like, I think we're getting out of here at all.
I don't think there's any escape, Gillian. I'm really sorry for what I'm about to have to do.
I'm already about
But if we're not making it out of here, might as well just take them all with us, right?
Nuke.
I like how the music right there.
What is
Uh,
it?
Cyrus,
He had a
Cyrus will
single
look
idea.
back and he's like, do you have a way to kill everybody?
Can you buy me 30 seconds?
I think we could do that. Killian, are you ready for one last fight?
So it's not gonna be much of a fight, but sure.
Okay. So basically, Killian and Cyrus will become fodder as.
Yep.
What
I'm gonna
we will-
move back
Yep.
to and lean against this post here,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna sit down, cross my legs, and I'm gonna start trying to tap in to my druidic powers, and I'll continue after once I reach that point.
Sorry about that, my mouse. There we go. Okay. So Cyrus and Killian stand in front of the Eater of Hope as he, is taking a stance. He stands up firm with the blade in his hand. And we don't even see a humanoid facade anymore. And as Cyrus and Killian stand between Skaldir and the others, we go to face, and Cyrus is going to ask Killian, so where to? You want him or do you want them? And they are still walking up and encroaching. So we have the 6 faceless ones coming up on one side, and we have the other there.
The ground is obsidian, right?
That's obsidian.
Yep.
I will say the whole room
Yes,
is obsidian.
It may contain whatever occurs.
I mean, at this point, you want to rock paper scissors for it?
Let's rock paper scissors for it.
All right.
All right,
So loser
Rochambeau.
loser gets Shit, I don't know what's the winner.
The loser gets. What does the loser get, Killian? What does the loser get? The winner gets to kill himself. It's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right.
That's-
So let's we'll do a. You want to do an actual rock paper scissors, or do you want to do a dice roll?
Let's do a dice roll. Odds and even.
Yeah. Okay.
I go left. Even go right.
Roger.
I do it.
Up you now.
So I'm a roll for me basically. If I'm go left or right.
Okay.
Looks like I'm going left.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right. So, Cyrus is gonna look, and one last handshake. Thank you.
Cyrus, come here, man.
It's
Give,
been-
give me a hug.
You
Give
will
me a
not
hug.
be
I love
forgotten.
you. Give me a hug.
Yeah, love you. It's a big O hugs. He says, "This was real." To which Cyrus is gonna pull out his sword and walk up to the faceless one as he looks back at Scaldir. Scaldir, obviously, your eyes have shut. Killian, as you move through the dusted environment with knowing what stands behind you, with Cyrus and the Eater of Hope and Mendril, this newfound hound of Edward Kemp, and what is before you, the six faceless ones, poised and looking. As you walk up, you'll notice that their forms are all shifting. They get a little taller, some of them are shrinking. You see the hair start to form and push up to where you see these individualized lines starting to make out in the silhouette as they come down. You see the shoulders coming back into a taller, more slendered form. You see their hands and arms elongating and the legs elongating as their height grows to match your own. Slowly but surely, your face begins to form on each of the sticks as they have all walked up, some spilling the ichor from their hands to form maces, spears, swords as they walk to face you. Scaldir, between the two of them, sits you up against the post, your eyes closed. A sense of peace is finally taken from you. Your hands perched upon your lap. You feel the vines from the crown begin to burrow deep. You feel flowers form, begin to take effect. The antlers growing larger and crooked and crimped as they come up and extend. And in your mind, in this black abyss, Bible black, velvet, you hear steps of a cloven nature as you see a large fawn-like being, eyes drawn as two beads bead from left to right as it gets closer and closer, and it kneels before you. As it exhales its breath, to you, externally, you will exhale as a mist or fog begins to pour from your mouth. The vines from your crown begin to burrow further, expanding, using your vascular system as almost like a highway. They expand, burst through your chest, your arms as they begin to grow up the pillar walls. The only thing really left is your torso, still flesh, legs eviscerated by what has happened as you become almost like a monocred puppet, forming the internals. And as you do, a sudden burst of energy will expel from your body, leaving everything surrounding you in an ashen blast. Killian, as this was happening before the blast takes place, you will be met at the end by the six faceless ones, all each carrying your form, not being able to take its full effect to move on to another target. And they will each wear your form till a new target is met. For Cyrus, as he meets the brother and the sword extended, he will try to deflect and he will fail. The sword will come down, carving into his chest and neck, leaving a last breath as he falls to his knees. Edward Kemp, after finishing his transformation of Mendril, will stand and say, "Feed," To which the brother will then lean down and consume yet again Cyrus, and in the same fashion, the body will undulate, move, as we see the face traverse up to the side, and Cyrus's face will come to the third part. And yet again, his face will come flush, and another eye will open as they ascend down, and a third set of arms, smaller, will extend out, holding his weapon to the back. As these events took place, Scalder, on your completion of what has happened, a sudden burst of energy will expel outwardly. Edward Kemp and the flesh and hound, Mendrel, will be flown asunder, sent back into the obsidian walls. Mendrel, you will be knocked unconscious. Edward Kemp will take a vital amount of damage. It will be unknown to this party how much of that will be. The stoic figure floating in the air at this point, after consuming Cyrus, Nordic, will not be phased by any way from what has happened. It will slowly descend and kneel within the forest that it now inhabits, the obsidian parlor, within the gates of Samael, under Veil Shadow. And that will conclude Act 1.